Tech billionaire Elon Musk is saying his Neurolink company has successfully implanted one of its wireless brain chips in a human for the first time. He made the announcement on X, his social media platform, saying the procedure happened on Sunday. He says the subject is recovering well and that initial results show a promising neuron spike detection. Mr. Musk says the product has been given the name telepathy, and the plan is for it to enable control of a phone, computer, or almost any linked device just by thinking about them.
We have the natural and we have the man-made, and it's quite easy to tell the difference. For nature is the beauty that surrounds us, God-ordained, divine, and works all on its own, where the man-made, generally a lot less beautiful, copied and duplicated from nature in most of the cases. We are fast approaching a time where the line between man-made and natural is becoming less and less clear, with us soon approaching a point where we may not be able to tell the difference in certain aspects.
Energy fields that enable people like Ingo Swann to leave their body and travel through space are thought to be responsible for causing objects to move.
The natural or the true seem to be constantly inverted, flipped, changed from truth to falsity. With the rise of technology, the magical happenings of life, the mysteries and the miracles are all at risk in terms of not being able to tell the difference if it's natural and divine or man-made and a fraud.
Welcome to the future of robotics. Let them help you. Chores around the house, there isn't anything they can't do.
The next marvelous advancement in robotics is artificial intelligence. By studying the human brain, we have given independent thought and life to robots, allowing them to join the American workforce, almost like real people.
Now, a new technology is bridging the gap between humans and AI, making us closer than ever. By scanning your own facial features, we can give them to a fully robotic body, making them more human than human. With a simulant, the future's never looked better.
AI is integrated into all parts of our day-to-day life. They cook our meals. They drive our cars. They are our civil servants, keeping the peace. And with the new state-of-the-art defense system, they even...
Now, an example of this would be the superhuman abilities or natural gifts which individuals are born with versus that of technology. Many people believe in something beyond the unseen, things such as the ether, something that surrounds us and is us, the life force that runs through all things, that contains information and memories of all type. Edging on to clairvoyance and psychic abilities, throughout history there have been a huge majority of these people that have been frauds, but there have also been genuine ones. The frauds using technology even backed them to aid them. I remember seeing videos of an audience at a psychic event and the presenter had an earpiece in.
At the time, Popoff was pulling in nearly $4 million a year, healing people on his miracle crusades.
He had an assistant in the back that was going through all the information of the people in the audience, feeding that presenter.
To his followers, Popoff seemed to have divine powers.
Is it Gould? Alice Gould?
He knew their names.
Stand up, Alice.
As well as the afflictions they'd come to cure.
God is touching that thyroid condition right now.
He also knew the personal details of their lives.
Hear good news from Charles. Before everything is over, I'll tell you he's going to be completely delivered because of your prayers.
The radio scanner we brought to the hall picked up a decidedly worldly source.
Hello, Petey. Can you hear me? If you can't, you're in trouble.
John, is it
Popoff was being prompted by his wife through a wireless earpiece.
John?
And in the past, clairvoyants have used technology to make things move, to appear, all types of happenings. And even though I am aware of this, I still know some to be true. The false or the frauds are not true in every case, and just because they exist, it doesn't mean we should turn our back on the idea altogether. To me, the ether and superhuman abilities are very real, normally taking huge amounts of practice or hard work to access it, or seemingly born with it, a natural talent or gift. In terms of progression, it can take people a lifetime to transcend the self, to become something more, to stop the mind and its thoughts, and take complete control of the bodily system. The man-made equivalent to ether, which by the way has many names, I'm simply using one, is the internet, if you like. The internet is an avenue to access all the information in the world. Like the internet, the ether contains all memory and experience in the whole of time. The ether, natural, seemingly. The internet, man-made. And these are our comparisons. The ether, just like all other things, has been inverted and copied. It will not be long until the natural gifts of Mother Earth and ourselves are long forgotten and replaced by fake man-made avenues. Being able to access the internet, we forget about the ether and the akashic records. How long will it be until it is forgotten altogether? Everything that man makes is a type of clone. It isn't half as strong, half as powerful. Still, the world are in awe of the internet and its capability. If only they knew what it was truly copied from, then maybe they would love life as much as technology. This even can relate to our supernatural or paranormal in terms of the unknown and ghost or other like activity, in terms of manipulating lights and electronics, such thing we have seen in our horror movies for so long. Essentially fits into the exact same category, the natural versus the man-made. But not just people, but the environments can be manipulated. That links to a range of psychic abilities which, inverted, could be represented in technological ways, such as the beginnings that we see with the neurolink. Pushed further, the ability to influence the movement of energy, such as electricity, without direct interaction. The ability to throw an electric current as if it was a rope. Both of these linking to electricity, but also to the ability to influence a physical system without physical interaction. Typically manifesting as being able to exert force, control objects and move matter with one's mind. The so-called natural ability to move objects with one mind naturally changes when technology is involved and influenced.
Says the product has been given the name telepathy, and the plan is for it to enable control of a phone, computer or almost any linked device just by thinking about them.
Also linking to things such as clairvoyance, the ability to see things and events that are happening far away, locate objects, places, people, using a sixth sense. With the aid of technology, all cameras, all types of other technology could be accessed to find out the happenings from far away, locate objects, places, people. Again, the lines blur. The ability to transmit or receive thoughts supernaturally. We merge back into the supernatural. For example, murderers saying they hear voices telling them to murder someone. With devices planted in their head, such things as hacking could take place, which could potentially lead to thoughts, if not words and audio being inputted into someone's mind.
Calling himself a good person who heard voices in his head, accused killer and confessed serial killer Daniel Drayton, seen here being taken into custody last week in North Hollywood.
Astral projection and mental projection, the ability to astral project, being associated with out-of-body experience. Said to be a natural phenomenon which can be influenced through practice, but again manipulated and inverted in an artificial way. With the aid of technology, one can seemingly astral project themselves anywhere, which would be also associated with remote viewing, the ability to see a distant or unseen target using an extrasensory perception. And it even can lead on to things as the ability to control the weather, such as calling rainfall, storms and thunder. If we link this with the technological abilities of things such as dew and other technology, once linked to the system, the technological system, this could be controllable, manipulated and used. Mediumship and channeling, again linked to clairvoyance, but in terms of being able to recall all types of information and communicate with spirits, being able to pull on all the information in the whole of the internet to use as a resource. Again, you're sitting in front of somebody, a so-called fortune teller. Naturally, this would be associated with connecting to the akashic records, or the for many names again. In the inverted technological way, this would be a case of connecting technologically to the internet, to technology, and finding out all the information about somebody and their family history. Connection with technology allows one to almost become potentially all-knowing, being able to bring up information from past and present, linking to all types of cognition, retro, the ability to supernaturally perceive past events, and maybe even precognition, the ability to see future events, with the accumulation of all information of past and present. Although multiple possibilities could present themselves, it could be a possibility. And even the ability to present oneself in two different places at the same time, usually attributed to a saint, would potentially be linked to all types of technology using holograms and other like things, being able to be in two places at once, potentially more, with the aid of technology. Once again, I highlight the lines become blurry between the natural and the man-made once technology is introduced into the equation, which all sounds odd in a way, simply for the fact that we know this is already taking place in a lot of ways. Again, relating this to MK Ultra and mind control manipulation, it can be seen already as stated with the internet, the TV. Every single thing that is man-made essentially is copied from something. It's just the inversion seems to be taking its final course, to say, or is becoming public knowledge rather than a hidden private affair which only a few people are aware of. With this said, still we explore the technological side of all of this and the public knowing of that. And this can be led back to the Bible, the book that tells us about creation, about the story of Jesus and end times. This story can be seen as being inverted and rolled out in a future time, i.e. our time. An inverted replication made by man. With the rise of technology, we have the potential for immaculate conception.
Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy. Ectolife allows infertile couple to conceive a baby and become the true biological parents of their own offspring. It's a perfect solution for women who had their uterus surgically removed due to cancer or other complications. With Ectolife, premature births and C-sections will be a thing of the past.
The same as the story of Jesus, but inverted. People talk about the return of Christ or the coming of an antichrist, and the potentiality of this being imitated by man with the aid of technology, such as holograms and drones.
Elvis Presley is getting the AI hologram treatment for a state-of-the-art Elvis immersive experience.
And all what I'm highlighting in terms of the fine line between natural and man-made, and the gifts of humans versus man-made ability and technology, is often highlighted in our movies. The movies and TV have replaced books, and the only way to tell truth in a safe way, as they are mostly seen as fantasy. Anything can be shown and no repercussions had. So the Bible has huge links to modern movies such as The Terminator. The Terminator, for those unaware, is a modern telling of the Bible and Jesus Christ. A James Cameron movie, a science fiction nativity, ultimately, with John Connor, JC, taking the place of Jesus Christ, shown in the initials of John Connor, JC. The story follows Sarah Connor, who ultimately plays the role of Mary, who falls in love and is impregnated by a somewhat supernatural Kyle Reese, who is outside of time and space. This is a type of immaculate conception, as Kyle Reese doesn't actually exist in our timeline. The story follows a Terminator sent back in time to stop the birth of John Connor, or in our case, Jesus Christ, but fail. This is similar to the story of the king sending his army to kill Jesus as a child. When John Connor grows up, They try again. This is Terminator 2, and this can be compared to Jesus' life and trial. We read he escaped Egypt, and from around the age of 12 and 30 there is a limited story. But the Aquarian Gospel tells us of his mastery and training from 12 to 30. With John Connor, we know he grows to be a great leader and warrior. It will be suggested that the Jesus training around the world is the same as John Connor training to become a great leader. Completely different methods, but remember they have to try and hide this slightly, change aspects for what is an analogy. John Connor is raised by adoptive parents. This is like Jesus, the Son of God, being raised by Joseph and Mary. When John Connor grew up, he taught, he showed people the way, he enlightened them just as Jesus did. Skynet, the organisation that makes the machines, could be compared to society structures such as the church and technological companies, regardless, led by the cabal. John knew the destruction of Skynet would end the war. So the Skynet of our world, whether that's the church or the overall structure of the cabal, once it ends, the war is won. With that said, he fights against the machine with a red eye. The red eye is indicating the secret cults, the cabal. But a lot of James Cameron's movies have religious undertones, such as True Lies and the one I speak about all the time, Avatar. James Cameron is seemingly a disclosure of truth within movies. It's funny how Arnold Schwarzenegger, who plays the Terminator, also goes on to star in Kindergarten Cop. And Kindergarten Cop for me has sexual undertones which I won't explore in this movie. But if we take in consideration Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator or is a machine, it may be indicating the introduction of machines, AI and technology into the schooling system in the 90s.
This must be where you made the milkshake. We weren't making milkshakes. We're making the most fully developed human the world has ever seen.
To follow that movie, he played in Junior in 1994, which shows a man becoming pregnant. Essentially, this could be compared again to Immaculate Conception or a type of inverting reproduction through technology. So to conclude, a short summary of the Terminator is a modern retelling of Jesus and end times, shows us that end times is a result of technology and AI.
warhead was detonated in Los Angeles. Nearly 1 million people incinerated in the blink of an eye by the artificial intelligence created to protect us.
In regards to human ability versus technology, I feel this can be highlighted and shown in the recent movie The Creator, already spoken about but not in depth. The Creator, a sci-fi movie set in 2070, 15 years after a nuclear detonation in Los Angeles and a war against artificial intelligence. Literally the same scenarios we see in Terminator, a nuclear detonation in Los Angeles. An ex-Special Forces agent is recruited to hunt down and kill the Creator, who has developed a mysterious weapon with the power to end the war. The weapon turns out to be a child, a robotic child. Due to being robotic, she can connect to anything electronic in the world, influencing happenings, seemingly manipulating time and space. Linking this to the neurolink and other like devices, we can see how this can become a possibility. As soon as I began watching the film, it reminded me of The Golden Child from 1986 with Eddie Murphy. The film, which stars Eddie Murphy, a Los Angeles social worker who's informed that he's the chosen one and is destined to save the golden child, a kidnapped Tibetan girl, most people believed it was a boy, with mystical powers, who is said to be the saviour of all of humankind. From the description I've just read, you can see that the plot is generally the same. The big difference for me is the golden child was based around natural superhuman ability, whereas the creator is based around man-made super robotic ability.
She got these crazy abilities. She can remotely control things, turn them on and off. I didn't even know they could do that shit.
Yeah, I've never seen tech like this. Josh, that's the most advanced sim I've ever seen in my life. The others are just copy and paste, but this kid's different, man. She can grow. You said she can control things? Well, the range of her powers will grow too. Eventually, she'll be able to control all technology remotely, from anywhere.
It's scary to think in a world run by electronics that a robot can be made. A robot that looks just like a human. And these robots who we think are human have super ability and are essentially worshipped. Some would argue this may already be taking place and is taking place, with the awareness of this only just coming. As spoken about before within the creator are elements of the Terminator, obviously being based around robots, but it also can be compared to things such as The Matrix and a simulation, or even The Truman Show. Think of when Truman's dad dies when he's young, and then later on in the movie he's brought back. This can be compared to a false coming or an act of resurrection, again related to the story of Jesus.
Yep, I found him for you, Truman. That's why I came by tonight. Sure, he's got quite a story to tell.
In the creator, like the golden child, the child who is a girl, like we find in the creator and the golden child the same. Alfie is the name in the creator, reminding us of Alpha, which is the first letter of the Greek alphabet. When combined with Omega, the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet, it is a title for Christ and God in the book of Revelation. This itself is telling. But the main character that looks after her, just like Eddie Murphy's character in The Golden Child, is David Washington, who plays a character called Joshua. Now remember, Joshua is another name for Jesus, argued this is. So we have Joshua, who is her protector and the creator. Joshua's partner is Maya or Maya. Now Maya, in the Hindu religion of the Vedic texts, is a name for illusion or magic of the world, and also comparable to Sophia of the Gnosticism following and her fall. Adding further to this, Maya is in a deep, comatose sleep, like a sleeping beauty, like Sophia of Gnosticism. She is in hibernation in the movie, seemingly. Maya, the illusion of reality that covers all or is merged with consciousness. Joshua and Maya in the end both die and give their lives to save humanity and the little girl, Alfie. This hugely links to the story of Jesus again giving his life for humanity. And even more, remember the stories of Jesus and Mary Magdalene having a child, a little girl. This seems to be shown not only in the creator, but I've also shown it is highlighted in the Terminator. The girl in the end remains alive, like the stories of Jesus' child, again said to be a girl. But as they give their lives on a spaceship, which is deemed heaven above the earth, they kiss, they merge and become one. Seemingly, as this happens, the spaceship above which controls and separates is destroyed, bringing unity. Highlighted by the kiss itself, this for me shows a deeper meaning of reality and creation. As in my own awakening experience, there was a black sea that merged with a coloured sea. I could now see this similar to a kiss, the kiss, Maya and Jesus combining into one, illusion and consciousness, to make our world. Seemingly in the movie before this, the world was in two, separated. Also, something to note of interest is that both the Golden Child and the Creator, the Protector, is played by a black man, with Joshua being a black man, and ultimately playing Jesus. This would highlight Jesus was a man of colour, but this is obvious. So, man-made versus the natural, or technology versus magic, truth versus falsity. With the rise of technology, what is real and what is not? What is truth and what is inverted? In time to come, will superhuman abilities even be a thing? If we are all chipped to move forward with technology, then the technology will replace the natural, and the real gifts will be lost and forgotten, as they have them in a new but inverted, fake way that is far from the truth. Like they have made people forget the truth of the realm and the connectivity of that realm and the information that flows through it. Now they give you the internet and technology for you to replace the natural ability God-given. Be cautious but have no fear. The light within is strong, but only strong when you believe. Many will fall for the technological breakthroughs and lose themselves, but also there will be many that can see. We are fast approaching to a point of uncertainty. In God we have faith, in humanity we have far less. I'm happy consciousness, live God, many names guiding us, the opposite true about man. For man now thinks he is God and imitates him, but man is not. Just because you have God within you, so does everything else. Another insight which came to me was in relation to Star Wars. Now, Star Wars is generally seen as a movie of light versus dark, or good versus bad, on its physical forefront, if you like. However, I believe there's a deeper meaning that can reveal more to our current situation. I realise that what the Jedis use and the Siths use, sabers, lightsabers, is actually referring to cyber. So within Star Wars there are light and dark sabers, and sabers are carried for defense and protection, but also can be used to attack, which is very similar to cyber, like cyber security. Cyber security is used as a defense, but cyber attacks are also possible. It seems we are fast approaching this technological world of the future, and our movies of the past have answers. Star Wars is rarely seen in terms of a cyber war between good and evil, more so a spiritual war of good and evil, but maybe there is a physical counterpart. And we all should be aware that cybersecurity and hacking are going to win or lose this war. Moving into a world of technology, it is the hackers that can break down systems, that can essentially win the war. If people have watched programs like Mr. Robot, they will understand. So in relation to Star Wars and the lightsabers, I believe they're giving us a great insight to the comings of the cyber war. And now hackers are going to play a huge role within this. Just how the technology can influence the surroundings, the environments, the technology, the electronics to say. Hackers will be able to do the same thing. Hackers will be able to hack the electronics and make it act in whatever they wish. Hackers will play a huge role in what is to come in this new world of technology. The spiritual war and the technological war seem to be unseparated. We have the unseen and the seen. The spiritual war ongoing seems to be manifesting as a technological war. In most houses today, we have devices called Siri.
We have a flat tire.
How do I tie a bow tie again?
What's the fastest way to Hartford?
When we add a US or us to the end of Siri, it makes Sirius. Now Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky. The name deriving from the Greek word meaning lit, glowing or scorching. So again, to highlight the inversion, when people are asking the technological device Siri a question,
we have a flat tire.
How do I tie a bow tie again?
What's the fastest way to Hartford?
It is the same but an inverted version as looking up at the stars and asking a question to God. Again, inversion everywhere, covering the truth like a toffee apple, as explained before. All I ask, remember truth. This was a deeper conversation, and I thank you for your time. Now I send you love and light. Never let the dramas of this world dim your light. Never let the evils of this world take your might. They may be winning battles, but I never win this war. So for the time we walk in darkness, hold your head up tall. Love, light, and peace, that my strength to you all. Love, light, and peace to the warrior light.